Hi, my name is Mary.
And my name is Christine.
And we are sisters. And today we are talking about the incredible episode in season 3 of Dawson's Creek called Too Green with Love. My sister and I both started this Dawson's Creek podcast as a way to unwind from the wild and crazy world that we live in that's full of firings and
Mass
elections
resignings.
and crazy out of left field wildness that's happening every second of every day. We're getting news alerts, as I'm sure you are too, and it's just making us feel like absolutely cuckoo. So we started this podcast to talk about something that seems a little bit more bearable, which is the dramas of some teenagers, something we can relate to being ladies who are no longer teenagers. So my sister and I talk to each other once a week about this show that we had never before seen to kind of like have a good time talking about this silly teenage stuff. And I must say, listeners, that if you listened last week, you know that last week I was hanging out with my sister in DC, and you also know that Christine and I had an excellent idea for a spin-off Dawson's Creek series called Just Jen, which would be Jen Lindley roaming around as a 30-something, going on a million dates a week, hooking up with dudes, getting drinks with our girls. And I gotta say, Christine and I in DC, I think that we would be the perfect actresses to form a Just Jen spinoff show.
Mary!
Were we not living that Just Jen life? Come on.
It was so Just Jen. Yeah.
It was Just Jen.
We should
but
start
my sister's gonna... Yeah.
we should start perhaps a Kickstarter to see if we can get some funding to make a pilot of that, Mary.
Yes, the Just Jen pilot.
Just Jen pilot. Oh, maybe
starring not Michelle Williams.
Yeah, I was like, maybe we get Michelle Williams to do a cameo.
Who knows? Dream big.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So, listeners, I'm going to kick us off this week. We're excited to be back, talking with you all. Although I have to say, the whole reason, as my sister just explained, that we started the podcast is so that we could escape from current events.
Oh my God.
But this episode was very, very reminiscent of our current lives right now. Ooh, it was rough.
Too real.
It was too real.
It was a great episode.
Fantastic episode. Like, it really hit on some important issues. I was very, very impressed with it, but it was just like, wow. Like, not an escapist episode for sure. So it opens, and we are in the middle of a very raucous PTA meeting at Capeside, and it seems like the order of the day is Principal Green's decision to expel our very fancy friend Matt or Mike Caulfield. Matt.
Come on, girl.
A generic white boy name. It's not Holden Caulfield, so I don't really care. But it's kind of been hinted at in the previous episode that this kid, of course, has a real fancy father, and the fancy father is pulling his strings in defense of his bullshit asshole son to try to get him, redeemed and back in school so he can claim all the white male privilege that he deserves. And it's going along, and the parents seem to be on this dad's side, and everyone's kind of reacting as if Principal Green was out of line, and Joey, Pacey, and Dawson are sitting in the audience watching. Joey is getting really worked up, and at some point she just can't take it anymore, and she stands up, and she just basically says, like, this is ridiculous. This is blown way out of proportion. Principal Green is a good man. He's a fair man. Caulfield is a jerk. Everyone knows it. I don't remember her whole speech, but she's really coming to the defense of the principal and saying that the kid got what he deserved. And basically it's the tale as old as time of some white boy's future being more important than, not being a racist. So
Oh, boo fucking ho! Matt Caulfield's 200-year-old daddy springs up from the grave because his son is about 150 years old to come to his defense. And like you said, tale as old as time. We're all supposed to feel so bad that this old man doesn't have a future. I was not having it. And
yeah.
then, yeah, Caulfield's daddy is like playing the little Trumpy part, doing all these like use of euphemisms and dog whistles, saying that Principal Green is an outsider and he doesn't know what the community needs. I was like, bullshit.
Yeah, it was very frustrating to watch, especially like on the tail of the Kavanaugh hearings. I know that wasn't a race thing, but like just the entitled white male getting his way yet again makes my blood boil, just like Joey's.
Constant.
Girl.
Christine, I wrote down, this is not an escape at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like, where's the escape here?
No, it's not. It's not Brett.
And that day that was the day, I watched it the day of the midterm results / sessions bombshell. And I was like watching cable news for like 9 hours straight, reading Twitter in a panic. I was like, I just need some Dawson. And I was like, what the hell is this? I mean, it was good, but I was like,
this is bullshit.
Like, this is not what I expected. But
wow.
At some point, you know, Joey she's strong, she's standing her ground, but she is being attacked for it. And the father, Caulfield, makes another kind of dog whistle comment about Joey's family being, you know, unsavory or something insulting. Yep. Dawson D loved it, popped right up, comes to her defense. It's like, you do not know Joey's family. He basically defends the honor of the Potters.
That's my D.
Oh, I know. It's like, D, love you. You're the best. So righteous. But Mary, the rich white guys, they're winning again. And it's sickening.
You know what really frustrated me too? They leave the PTA board meeting or whatever, and there's all these like newscasters outside, and I'm like, excuse me, what? This shit's getting press coverage? Not in this news cycle. there's no time for local news anymore. But I mean, I even remember like back in the day when I was young. I'm not a kid anymore, but I remember, you know, my friends and I did some. We had to like go to some PTA meetings to raise some hell because our school tried to cut funding to the drama club, and obviously I'm all about that drama. And my friends and I raised hell, and we were like, you cannot cut our funding. This is the one thing we want. This is what we want to have careers in. Like, we're taking this seriously. Why won't you give us like one educator, pay one educator to do this? And I remember my friend stuffing posters into lockers that said like, fed up with the school board, so are we, join us at this meeting. And like, you know, I felt like I was a little Joey. And also there was a picture of us in the school paper that was like, they photographed us from below, and we all had our arms crossed, and we looked like freaking badass.
That sounds so cool.
And it was me and I was the drama club secretary, and it was my two other like really good friends who were the vice president and the president, and it was us on the like cover of the local paper, like looking like some badass bitches ready to race hell at the PTA. It was so funny.
Man, you gotta stand up for your rights. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone needs to stand up, whether you're standing up for your drama club or you're standing up for something like way more bigger and more national than that, but getting involved like Joey is in this episode is very inspiring, and I think people need to do more of it.
Yeah, I feel like now is the time. Like, there's so many opportunities for activism right now. There's groups, there's social media, there's just tons of ways to use your voice. So,
yeah. Find something you believe in and fight for it, baby.
And that's our public service announcement.
Totally. So who else is at the PTA meeting? Dawson's there, but so is his mom, Gail. And who does she run into? Her old intern, who is now a field reporter. And she's like, yeah, Gail, like, basically I took your job. Sorry. And, you know, I have to thank you because you're a veteran trailblazer. And Gail's like, excuse you? And obviously this new girl, Sherry, isn't interested in being unbiased. She wants to like put a spin on the story, and she thinks that Principal Green is a wacko. And she's really clearly siding with the parents and not with the principal, and that's how she's going to deliver the story to the public. And that rubs Gail the wrong way because she is an unbiased reporter who wants the facts and nothing but the facts.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like Sherry is basically gunning for a job at Fox News.
Oh my God, she's blonde. She doesn't care about the truth.
She's racist. Yeah, she
has a job. She's right in her wheelhouse. She's ready.
She's like the cookie cutter anchor for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's taking the white guy's side. That's her angle. That's all she's gonna spin it. Mary, for some reason, can you remind me why would I've written this down?
Yeah.
Convicts got the vote in Florida.
Oh, yeah, I can actually tell you. So, this is what I wrote. Joey, fired up and ready to go. Pacey is like, why are you surprised? Convicts, well, Pacey kind of upsets me because in this quote, this is what he says. Convicts, mental defectives, and people under the age of 18 are routinely denied the right to participate in decisions that affect their lives. And right now, Amendment 4 in Florida, people convicted of a felony have just had their voting rights restored. So that means over 1 million people in Florida now have their voting rights restored.
Hell yes, baby. So
hell yes.
2020 is going to look a little different down in Florida. Let's hope they can figure out their voting system, for God's sake, though. My God.
Well, they have those defective machines.
Yeah.
So
they had
a little humidity turns off, makes the wires go
haywire. They had those fucking hanging chads. It's like, get it together, guys.
Get it together. Like, you don't know what you're doing.
Go to a different state and ask for some help. Like, you need it.
You know what you need to tell them, Christine? Turn off TRL and do something.
that was good. Yeah, that was good.
That was an awesome quote. I wrote, if I was running for president, that would be my 2020 slogan. Turn off TRL and do something.
Maybe like she's living in the past.
A little dated, but the sentiment's the same, and I stand by it 100%.
Oh, turn off Twitter and do something. That could be your...
Turn off your Wi-Fi and do something.
Oh, man. Yeah, but that was exciting. I was like, things are changing. And I know, like, there's a push to lower the voting age, too. So maybe before long, the under 18ers can vote, too. Well, remains to be seen.
We'll see. They're trying to suppress that vote any way they can.
Oh, I know. It's dirty. Dirtier than our dirty dog.
Nothing could be dirtier than the D.
The big D.
At least for the next hour.
Oh, gotta love D.
Gotta love that D.
But yeah, Joey wants to inspire the teens. And that was exciting. So I was like, these teens,
I know.
Teens are making a lot of change. I am inspired by teenagers right now.
I'm inspired by teens too. I was just talking about teens I'm proud of.
I know, it's amazing. They're really doing amazing work. And
gotta love the teens.
Teens, people give you a lot of crap, but you're important. Like, thank God you exist.
I was just talking about how proud of myself I was as a teen. I was braver as a teen than I am now.
Yeah, well, teens are brave. They are.
They are. Because they see bullshit and they call it out because they haven't been slammed down by the system yet. Or they've only been slammed down, so they're like, bring it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really good point. Like, when a teen sees bullshit, they don't have to, like, be wishy-washy and be like, oh, well, maybe there's this, maybe there's that. They're like, no, it's bullshit.
Because they're already outside of it. So they're like, yeah, I see it, and I'm going to say something.
Their perspective is good. Yeah, I would trust the teens in your lives, guys.
I trust a teen, and I'm afraid of a teen. Like, if a teen... I would be like, if a teen was listening to this podcast, I'd be like, oh, they call bullshit left, right, and center. Because teens are smarter than us.
Yeah, they just know.
They just know. And they're ruthless. You gotta fear those teens. But yeah, like, Pacey has so much faith in Joey. He thinks she should basically be like an organizer. But rather than lean into Pacey for the support and encouragement, she reaches out to AJ for advice on how to organize this because he's like a college man. Maybe he knows more about resistance than these high schoolers do.
He's not a teen, I bet.
He's not. He's probably not even a teen. And basically, AJ, he doesn't even know who Pacey is because Joey starts talking about Pacey, and he's like, "Who's Pacey? And why does he have such a dumbass name?" And I was like, "Excuse you, AJ. I think you might want to get the hell off of this show."
Yeah, AJ doesn't even have a
really don't know
name.
the main players.
He just has 2 letters. What kind of a name
what
is
kind of
that?
name is AJ, okay?
Right?
That's what I'm asking.
Oh,
What a mistake.
yeah, those in glass houses, AJ.
Yeah, really. You're really wanting to be making fun of someone's name, AJ.
Oh, but AJ takes a trip out to Capeside, Mare. So he's
he's in it to win.
he's invested. Yeah,
He's as into the teens as we are.
he's into, I think, one teen in particular.
One teen in particular he's dedicated to.
Yeah. So AJ's in town. The news crews are in town. The parents are protesting in the streets. Capeside is...
These parents need to get a life.
Dude, I know. I was
Who
like...
the F's parent would care enough about someone else's kid that they're going to be raising hell like that?
Capeside,
It's not even your kid.
And you don't even, like, do you not have jobs? That, like, Mitch, I know, is out of a job, but is that, like, all Capeside parents? You just don't
Get
work?
a life, Capeside parents.
I don't know. They're just picketing.
And also, you want a vandal. Also, he started that big fight. I mean, I know it's a thing. Pacey got off easy, but like, everyone knows Matt Caulfield's trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him. He's 45.
I know. He's serving alcohol to underage teens.
He's a greaser.
Yeah.
He probably listens to rock and roll.
Yeah, his slogan is like, stop listening to Elvis and go vote.
Matt Caulfield?
Yeah.
And go vote.
Well, if he were running for president instead of TRL.
Oh.
He'd be like,
no, his would be like, no, Matt Caulfield would not even tell people to go vote. He'd be like, your vote doesn't matter. Just do drugs with me and have sex. Live only for yourself. That would be Matt Caulfield's slogan.
I guess, yeah. And
He would run as an independent.
give
and
me
try
all
to
the
split vote.
give me all the praise.
Yeah.
Elect me king. Oh, God.
Party of me.
Well, speaking of white men feeling entitled, Dawson.
Do we have to?
Dawson is not feeling super entitled right now because he's doing his indentured servitude with Gail.
Yeah.
He's working with Gail at the new restaurant. They're setting things up. He's like surrounded by candles. It's kind of romantic. I want to see what this place turns into. It's probably going to be amazing. But they're talking about Joey and how proud they are of her. Dawson's like, oh, Joey's really come along. And then this kind of was bugging me because I feel like all the boys in this episode are really trying to take credit for Joey's bravery and her, you know, finding her voice and all that. And I'm like,
where have we heard this before?
yeah. I'm like, guys, no, that was all Joey. Like, you can't take credit. Dawson's like, I feel like I played a role in that.
Ugh, yeah, he does say that.
Yes.
It's so right.
It's like, Dawson.
It's like, no.
I was like, I don't think so.
Dawson, you haven't even been present in her life in like 7 episodes.
Yeah, you've been like on the fringe.
You played a role. She didn't even talk to you no more. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like, you're delusional. That was...
He is really delusional. He's like smelling too many paint fumes remodeling this restaurant.
Yeah, he's
I don't
lost
know
himself
what
and
he's
he's lost
talking
his
about.
mind at the same time.
And then he's like, yeah, Joey's organizing an action outside of the superintendent's office. I'm like, D, are you even invited? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, big D.
Oh my God. But Gail, meanwhile, has some concerns that I do. She's like, I don't even know if this new newswoman, Sherry, knows how to decipher the truth.
Yeah.
And Dawson's like, listen, Mom, I've got a plan. I want to film you telling this story about Principal Green fighting the school board, fighting the parents, fighting the community the right way. And she's like, but why? Like, I don't have a network behind me. There's nowhere it can air. YouTube doesn't exist yet. It doesn't make sense. And Dawson's like, I'm not doing it for a network. I'm doing it for you so that you get to tell the story. And we'll do it and we'll produce it. We'll make it right. And then if people want it, they want it.
I love D for that. I was inspired. This episode inspired me a lot.
D, as Joss Stone would say, you had me, you lost me. You had me. You don't know. D, I'm all over the place with my emotions for you.
Yeah, Dee does that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I was pumped. I was like, do it. Yes. Gail, get your glory back.
Yeah, get your glory back.
I was very excited.
I mean, Gail too, fired up, ready to go.
Yeah, yes.
She's feeling good. She's feeling good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh my God, Christine, did you notice this? AJ. Okay, so the next scene is during the action happening outside of the superintendent's office.
Yeah.
And AJ refers to Joey as a born leader.
I did not notice that.
He says, "You're a born leader." I was like, "Oh my God, he's trying to get in her pants."
Oh, well, you know, she's pretty hot from this episode.
Well, no, but also, like, that's what you said at the club, trying to get with all those guys.
I know, it worked.
It worked. I mean, that really made me laugh. I was like, that could be another dare.
Oh my God. You should really
You're
give it
born
to me because
leader.
I like saying it.
I know, but you liked it a little too much for a dare.
Dang. I know, you're right. But it's fun. That's funny. No, I didn't pick up on
Isn't
that.
it funny? Yeah, he says it. He's like, she's a born leader.
He's right.
Yeah.
He is
And
right.
Joey, oh my God. So Gail is at the outside of the school filming everything with Dawson. And Sherry, Gail's old intern, is also there filming everything. And Sherry wants to get an interview with Joey. And Joey's like, no. And she insults her somehow. She makes fun of her hair. What does she say? Do you know?
She says, no, I feel like it's something about being blonde.
Yeah, it's like a pretty good burn, but
She, as you would say, she rinsed her real hard.
She rinsed her.
Yeah, she stuck it to her real bad. It was good.
She did. It was good.
She gave her the business.
Okay, Gramps.
That's my Caulfield phrase for tonight.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. No, it was really rewarding. I was like, and then she's like, was I too hard on her? I was like, nah.
Like, no.
That was
not hard enough, Joey.
Sweet
Keep it
Joey.
up.
Yeah.
But then, who wants to see Joey but the superintendent?
Yeah, she gets a meeting, and she's a little conflicted about whether or not she should take it. And she asks for advice from her two boys, Pacey and AJ. Pacey doesn't think that she should do it. And Joey's like, oh, well, okay. And she's like, what do you think, AJ? AJ's like, well, I would take the meeting. And what does Joey do? Who does she listen to? That born leader complimenter, AJ.
She takes the meeting.
And she takes the meeting, and she goes into the office. Mary, I feel like taking the meeting was probably a good call, though. You gotta sit down.
No, I do too. You have to face the people who are trying to keep you down. You have to face them. You have to fight them.
Yeah.
And she's strong in the meeting.
Oh, she is. Yeah.
And I mean, Pacey was right in the fact that he let her know the superintendent's going to do nothing but threaten you. That was correct.
Right.
But Joey can handle it. She went in. She was prepared. She stood her ground.
Yeah, she did not back down. She showed her spine. Mm-hmm. She did have to maybe stretch the truth a bit.
Yeah, but she was awesome. Like, he's like, why are you outside my office? And she's like, well, if parents can pick at a school, students can pick at a superintendent's office. And she's like, it's really wrong what's happening to Principal Green. We stand by him. I have 300 signatures on a petition that say that we stand behind the principal. And there's going to be a huge rally tomorrow with numbers you can't even imagine. And like you said, yeah, she stretched the truth, but she scared the shit out of him.
Yeah, she had to. She had to do it to him.
She had to do what she had to do. I had to do it to him. So, Principal Green, or the superintendent, is like, you better go back to school or else, that principal you love so much is going to give you a detention for cutting class. And she's like, oh, no one's cutting class. I'm out sick with a cold. I was like, yes! That was great.
That was good. That was
really good.
Joey's just like, mic drop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was rewarding.
Yes.
And then I like this plan, too, that Dawson and Gail had. So they show up at Principal Green's house because they're trying to land an exclusive interview with him. And they didn't just show up completely out of the blue. Dawson did reach out to Nikki first to kind of see what she thought. And you could kind of tell from an earlier scene when they were watching the news together, Nikki and her dad, that Nikki was kind of upset that her dad was so silent. She I mean, it would be hard to see your dad being dragged through the mud this way. So I think she
Yeah.
really wants him to be painted in a better light. So she tells Dawson, like, yeah, sure, come over, my dad will talk to you. However, Mr. Green has other ideas. He doesn't really want to because he knows if he does, he's going to get attacked and probably his life will be made harder. Which, oh my God, Mary, what have we seen with Christine Blasey Ford and what's happening to her now? It's just like
Yes.
getting flashbacks of all this. So I can't say I don't blame him for not wanting to talk and like stoop to the level and engage, but his daughter really, really wants him to.
Yeah.
She's saying like, Dad, you always told me to stand up for myself and my beliefs, and like she even quotes Martin Luther King. She's pretty persistent, but that day they're not getting the interview. So Dawson and Gail just leave.
Well, he doesn't want to fan the flames of the opposition. And I really don't blame him because, when you give in to the like mudslinging nonsense arguments of, people who are making arguments that don't make sense, like even just by talking back to them and defending yourself, you're in a way stooping to their level. And it's like, clearly Principal Green, he's the principal. It's in his name. He has the right to make these decisions. They are justified by any standard. Anyone who's a vandal and is getting in fights, yeah, expel them. It's your jurisdiction. And it's pretty insane that he's being questioned in this way. And, I totally understand his point of view. It's also just really, it's upsetting. And I feel really bad for Nikki because, yeah, you want your dad to defend himself, to be defended, to be supported by his employer,
Yeah. And it's hard too
awful.
because I feel like earlier when we saw like some of the news clips, the way that they were showing him, this hasn't changed. Like when you see a black man on the media on TV, they pick a photo, like a shot that makes him look really angry and violent, and they did that to him. And it's like they're really.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I did, and I was like, oh, of course they would use a picture like that. Like he just looked mad. And it's like, even if he was extremely well-spoken, calm, they would twist his words like they did with Joey's words. They don't need much. Like, you can spin almost anything. It's scary. So he's like, why even put myself through it? Why put my family through it? I already know what's going to happen. So yeah, I totally get it. And it sucks.
Really sad.
It's really sad.
God, this episode.
I know, Mary. This brings up a lot of current events.
Knife in the heart, this episode.
I know. I'm like, I guess it was like only like, no, it was like 20 years ago. Like, we should be better than this by now.
We should be. We're worse.
That's kind of, no, you're right. Oh, it sucks.
It's sad. It's sad.
America, get it together.
America, stop.
America, stop. Yes.
Green says, I know my side. That's all that matters. I don't have to stand up. I know the truth of me. It's a very powerful statement to know yourself.
Yeah, he doesn't need to prove it to anybody else. It's their problem if they don't know.
Yeah, it's so.
But it's sad because it's a loss for all of us.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, everyone rallies around Joey's efforts to support Principal Green. They know that she was bluffing on the signatures, but Jack is going to be posting on the website. He's like doing the internet rallying. Andy's making calls left and right, trying to get people to turn up for the rally. She's even threatening not to work on the yearbook unless people show up. And, she has this cute little quip about how the personal touch is always nice when it comes to blackmail.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. I was like, that's funny.
I thought was very cute.
I also like that Jack is doing the website. I feel like ever since he had that online chat, he's like Mr. Computer.
He's like, let me learn about the internet.
Yeah, he's like, oh.
What else can I find on the World Wide Web? Quite a bit, Jack.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and Jack has even created 500 posters advertising the rally that they're going to paste all over town. And he tells Joey about this, and she's like, but oh my God, we don't have any funds. Who's going to pay for this? And he's like, don't worry about it. Pacey has a hookup with a coffee shop owner who's willing to print them for free. And I was like, Pacey always has the hookup. He is a good friend to have.
Oh, and actually I didn't think of this until just now. He also brought coffee to Joey's protest.
Yeah, he did.
I wonder who that coffee person is.
Well,
they're really hooking him up.
Hope we find out.
Yeah, I'm curious. That's cool.
Tamara's cousin.
Yeah, probably.
Randy. We don't know who it is.
Oh, Pacey.
Oh, yeah. Pacey is a really good friend to have. You're a really good friend.
Oh, yeah.
I'm loving Pacey
I also
this
want to
episode.
say everyone's, like, Mary, the season, it looks like it's finally cold out. Everyone's dressed.
Oh my God, girl. There's snow later.
Yeah. I was like, it's winter now.
A season has happened.
I know. I was like, Mary's going to be pumped.
It's no longer fall. 3 episodes deep and it's no longer fall.
3 seasons? Yeah.
Oh yeah, 3 seasons. 3 seasons.
And everyone's got, like, the best Nordic sweater. Like, their Nordic sweater game is on point, I have to say.
Ugh.
I was like,
Wow.
y'all look really cute in your little sweaters. And you're organizing. But they are organizing at Bessie's house, the Potter Inn, Potter B&B, not an Airbnb. We're not there yet. Potter B&B. Bessie is not really thrilled about it. She is worried
Bessie.
about her mortgage because the landlord or property owner, whoever, isn't really sympathetic to the cause.
Well, they got a threatening call. She's not sure if it's a prank or if it's real.
Oh, okay. I missed that detail.
Yeah, they get an angry phone call saying that they shouldn't have protesters working out of a B&B. And she doesn't know if it's the landlord or a prank, but she's worried.
Oh, okay. So she's freaking out about it. And she wants Joey to shut it down. She wants her not to continue. Joey's like, what? You don't want me to use my voice? Like, that's crazy. I need to do this. And they're kind of butting heads. Bodie is kind of in the middle. Like, he's on Bessie's side a little because that's his woman. And, you know, he's got to live at the inn after Joey goes to college. But on the other hand, Bodie's a black man. So he gets it. He's like, yeah, this is wrong. This issue is worth fighting for. So I thought his perspective was really interesting on this. I was like,
Well, yeah, I mean, it was kind of upsetting because Bessie was siding with the parents, and then Joey and Bodie were like a little bit more woke than that.
yeah.
Like, no, like, she has a good reason to protest, and what they're doing to Principal Green is racist and bullshit. And Bessie just basically walks out in a huff.
Just like white women, man. I'm not too proud of white women right now, even though I am
Right.
one.
Yeah.
But, you know, she'll hopefully come around.
Hopefully she'll come around. We'll see in about 30 minutes when we hit the end of this episode.
Stay tuned, listeners. Stay tuned.
Oh my God. And then more bad news. AJ, a white man, is ready to bail after he's wreaked havoc
He's going to dip.
on house and home. He's like, well, I've caused enough damage and it's time for me to go write my paper.
Yeah. And Joey's like, what? You're leaving?
Joey's like, there's still so much work to do. He's like, oh, I was only here to like maybe get laid, not to actually make change in this community.
Yeah, he's like, I was just turned on, but I see you're really serious, so I'm going to go.
That's a turn off. And I'm gonna go.
Lame.
It's a lot of work, and I got papers to grade, so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So AJ's outie. And this is what I wrote. Schoolwork is singing a siren song.
Oh my God. Well, you know AJ loves to study. He didn't take Joey
does
out
love
on
to study.
Valentine's.
Yeah, that was lame.
She could do way better. Although she and him kiss, don't they? And Pacey sees it.
When? This episode?
Yeah, when AJ leaves.
When he leaves, I guess. What was also crazy is she's like, oh, this is Pacey. You guys haven't met. I'm like, when he picked you up for your first date, Pacey was in the room. It's really your
That's
fault.
right.
They didn't meet. He was there. Like, that was crazy.
Maybe like that was so awkward we could never speak of it again. was so crazy.
Maybe. He wasn't like, who's this random guy in your house staring at me? I was like, so weird.
Yeah, that was wild. Pacey became like
Yeah.
a ghost for a minute.
Oh, Pacey. Pacey, also, he's out on the docks with Jen. They're putting up posters. He's taking out all his aggression on the stapler. Pacey and Jen discuss Pacey's feelings in this very roundabout, hypothetical style way. And you know what? Me personally, if I'm talking to someone about romance or feelings, I do not allow this hypothetical bullshit into the conversation. I want to know all the details. I want the specifics. I do not want this murky, gray, whatever. How about you?
Oh my god, I'm the total opposite.
You want hypotheticals?
If I'm talking about myself, I do not like sharing personal details. I like to keep it as murky and mysterious as possible.
What?
I do. I don't know.
Not with me.
Yeah, you're my sister, but with a friend, I'm like, no, I'm not telling you all my secrets. I don't know.
But you say, like, hypothetically, if a person were to...
I mean, I guess I don't do it. That's obvious. Like, that's not gray enough.
You're even more shady.
I'm even more shady. Yeah. Gotta keep that all in shadow.
I'm like, no, but tell me exactly what was said.
No.
Word by word.
No.
No.
I'm too, I guess, private. I don't want to share all my...
I'm too prying. All the information. I really like to know a breakdown exactly so I can analyze.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's better.
Well, how can you give advice otherwise?
That's true.
It's
yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah.
It's just speculative, and the person's coloring it greatly with what they want to be true.
That's what I like to do.
I see.
But it's not. No, it's really not the most effective or
honest.
honest
I remember
way.
like talking to like mom and she being like, "Oh yeah, I had this conversation with so and they said something along the lines of XYZ," and I'm like, "Well, what exactly did they say?" And she's like, "Well, I don't remember." And I'm like, "Well, did they say they want this or they needed this or they'd like to have it?" She's like, "Well, I don't remember the exact wording." I'm like, "It's very important." I'm just very obsessed with like exact wording of things.
Well, that's a good trait. I think that's
because quote unquote words matter, baby.
Yeah, I was about to say like it does matter.
It does. It makes a big difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of that, kind of dovetails right into the next scene when Dawson and Gail are talking about journalism again.
Mm-hmm.
And Gail is kind of saying how, you know, if Dawson and she continue on the path with this news story, Dawson, I think, is kind of urging her to, like, take the side of Mr. Green, but she's kind of like, well, it's not my job to editorialize. Like, I just want to get to the truth. And she says that the best journalists, all they do is ask the right questions, and that's how the truth surfaces. So I really respected Gail for that, and I felt like this is a message we really need to focus on right now, and we need to repeat and hear, because news today, it's so much editorialization. All it is opinionating and speculating and people with their hot takes, and it's like, no, just give me the facts. Just ask a question. Don't have some, like, crazy person on your show to talk nonsense for an hour.
The problem is there are no facts anymore. Even the facts of climate change are turned into opinions. It's like they've totally stripped away the, concreteness of a fact and turned it into all opinion and speculation. And when everything is, like, up in the could be this, could be that, it's nonsense.
Yeah, but
it's very frustrating.
It is, and it doesn't have to be that way. It's just
no, it doesn't. But
how are you going to
fill the microphone to these opinion people?
Yeah, it's just how are you going to fill a 24-hour news cycle with a fact that takes a minute to say?
Now you can, because there's a lot happening at once.
Yeah, now you can't keep up with it.
We can do a lot less with the both siding of facts.
Yeah, we really have
we'll get a lot more information, and that would be great.
That would be fantastic. Yeah.
Oh my
So,
God.
Gail, please come back. We need you now more than ever.
Gail's doing a great interview with the superintendent.
Yeah,
might
she
I
has
say.
such Katie Couric vibes, Mary. I was like, you are
Yes.
becoming your hero, Dawson.
D's got a little
Don't get
heart
turned
on.
on. I know. I was like, better keep that in your pants,
Dawson, that's
baby.
your mother.
Don't walk that dog right now.
Ooh, gross.
I know, I know. No, she is doing a killer job. And she's asking the questions, but Mary, she has like a great got him moment. She is asking him who he represents, the community, which he does say, I represent the community, which we all know what that means, the white community.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, really? I thought you represented the students."
Mm-hmm.
And he says some bullshit, and she's like, "Will you read this piece of paper, Mary?" This reminded me of such a Nathan Fielder move, by the way.
Oh my God, yes.
So he reads this piece of paper, and
This
it's
thing that you signed.
yeah, you signed this. It's basically his contract that he signed to take a superintendent job, and it says in black and white he is there to protect the students or represent the
Got him
students.
with the contract. Got him.
Got him. I was just like, bow down to the students, bitch. Like, that's who you represent.
That should be the title of this episode, Bow Down to the Students.
Oh, really? See, I was thinking America Stop would be a good title.
America Stops. Yeah, you could do that too. I mean, I'm not against it. It's very rare that I get a title, you know.
Hey, Mary, you get this
title.
one. You get this one. Bow down to the students, bitch could be in the description if we want.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Let's do it.
Yes. I mean, I also love how she calls out the fact that firing Principal Green is just as extreme as expelling Caulfield. Like, it's not like...
It's, yeah, you're right, because they're both, it's permanent for both. They're both out of their position.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a
It's like...
really good point.
It's extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's...
Oh my God. Oh my God. And I wrote, I don't, why don't more journalists hit people with their contracts, with the things they've promised to do? Like, why doesn't someone just repeat Trump's oath of office at him? Like, you swore to protect all the people, not just some of the people, not just your people, not just your son and your daughter, all the people. Oh my God, we're so much more political this episode than usually.
Well,
Listeners,
this episode's political.
we can't help it. It calls for it, We have to draw the connections where we find them. Sometimes the connections we see are to parties we threw back in 2006.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Sometimes they're to the yesterday. So, we call them like we see them. And this is where we're at.
Everything is political now, but this especially. My goodness.
This episode especially. Nikki is with her dad. She's on her way out the door. She's going to the rally to support her father. Her father doesn't want her to go. He doesn't want to go. He knows. He recognizes he's a wronged man. He is angry, even though he cannot show it.
Ugh.
Rightfully so. He's angry. But he knows that the goddamn racists of Capeside, if he shows any anger, will turn it against him. Even though they're wild and angry and screaming and red in the face, he's not allowed to react at all.
Remind you of anyone, Mary?
It reminds me of everybody.
I just keep thinking of Kavanaugh screaming.
Yes, screaming.
And Lindsey Graham
Screaming.
screaming.
Yeah, and threatening.
And Dr. Ford calmly explaining in scientific terms why she's upset. But she's angry. Oh, it just makes me so upset.
Yeah.
But Mary, that's why you need someone like Joey, like someone who can be angry. And
she's disconnected enough from the situation that she can get angry.
Yeah, it's so unfair.
On his behalf.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like those women in the elevator. I had such high hopes. I was like, yes, they're gonna change this. All right, we can't get too off topic because I'm gonna get mad about Flake all over again.
We can't.
But Mary, keep talking.
Man.
Keep talking about Green.
So Dawson, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna jump ahead to Dawson.
That's fine.
Dawson, he's sneaking footage at the rally. He's got his camcorder out. Jen talking to Pacey, saying what a great job he's done of getting people to show up at this rally. Pacey introduces Joey at the rally, even though apparently they haven't spoken at all that day. And
She's a little busy.
she's been busy. She gives this really great speech all about Principal Green and believing in him, and it harkens back to the first, school board meeting where they called Principal Green an outsider, and she says, "How can this man be an outsider when he's been here with us every day, walking the halls with us, and making our lives better?" She's like, "That's what I hope to accomplish today. I wanted us all to just talk about the different ways in which Principal Green has made our lives better." And they're slow to do it. They're a little hesitant, but people slowly start raising their hands. And Auntie talks about how Principal Green taught her it was okay to make a mistake and learn from, the things that you do wrong and get better. Another kid says that, he treated them like adults, not just kids, even when they act like kids. They feel like their voices are heard by an adult for the first time in their lives. And it's clear that Principal Green has touched the lives of every person in that room in a specific and personal way. He's clearly a fantastic teacher. And all of a sudden, Principal Green, he walks in, and even Bodie's there. Bodie goes to support Joey, which is awesome. And it turns out that Principal Green, he's going to stand by his principles, and he's going to resign. He'd rather resign than reinstate Caulfield and do something that he knows is the wrong thing to do. And he thanks all the students for being there and for standing by their principles. It's really beautiful moment.
This was amazing. I was like, as soon as Joey started talking, I was just like so on board because she was talking about how effective and good he was and how there for everyone he was. And Mary, it just reminded me of how many times on the pod we'd even talked about how Principal Green is going above and beyond for what a principal should do.
No, I was like, we would be at that rally talking about how great, because we do. We're always like, these students are lucky to have Principal Green. Principal Green is really good for these kids.
Yeah, like what is he doing in this English class? Like he was so involved in like
extremely involved.
So many ways. Yeah.
Above and beyond. my principals did nothing for me.
I know. It was like the superintendent, like, oh, you show up at graduation. Like
yeah.
You never know. But
those are principals.
He was outstanding. So it's like, yeah, that was actually really good because it felt earned. Like it didn't feel like some cheap, like, let's do a show about race this episode.
Right.
It was like, yeah, he really...
And they do kind of sometimes do that on the show where they like, oh, all of a sudden we're going to talk about this character who you've never met before, but all these characters care deeply about them. But no, like they've invested the time in caring about Green. We do care about him.
Yeah, I mean, for real. I was like, I care about him. So that was brilliant. And I also really liked how Joey got everyone to share their story because, like, I do grassroots advocacy in my job, and that's one thing over and over and over. It like all the advocacy summits you go to, everyone's like, that's such an effective way to make change and to influence people, influence Congress, is to share personal stories and share your message because it's moving. Like when you hear all the students talk and like share, Principal Green touched my life, he touched my life, he touched my life, you're like, wow, look at the impact. So it's like, Joey, that's a very smart advocacy move. If your career as a future activist is very promising, even though, Green decides to step down. But like if she had recorded all those or got them written up or sent them into like an editorial, that'd be some impactful stuff. I just wanted to say that.
I think D might have been recording.
Oh, Dawson. Yes.
I hope he got that on tape.
Actually, he probably did, because that's how he is.
He had the camera out at the beginning of the rally, so...
Oh, nice.
I know that we see his face during it, and I'm not sure if the camera's out.
I don't remember. I don't know, yeah.
No. He should have had it on, if he was worth his salt at all.
Yeah, that remains to be seen.
You know who probably got it?
Gail?
Nikki probably got it.
Nikki?
Nikki.
Oh, Nikki. Nikki did.
She's a much better filmmaker.
She's like, Dawson, watch and learn. Yeah.
She's like, watch a pro do it.
That's so true. That's so funny. That was great. Yeah.
It was beautiful. Yeah. Even if Principal Green has to resign, he has made a lasting impact on these kids' lives forever.
Yeah, and no one can take that away. That's I feel like
They'll
all
never
those
forget.
kids learned they really learned a value that their parents don't know. Like their parents might be racist, but the kids can see deeper. And that
Hmm.
gives you hope for the future.
Which we need.
Oh my god, we really need that right now.
Um, so Pacey, it's the end of the rally, and he just tells Jen, like, I feel like dog meat.
Oh,
Joey
Pacey.
didn't even thank me for all of my hard work on this rally.
Ugh.
It's like, you need a thank you? You weren't doing this for Green? Okay. And Joey's like, oh, she will. She'll thank you. And he's like, well, how do you know? And she's like, because every dog has his day. Made me laugh so hard.
Me too. I was like, Jen.
I was dying.
Just
I love that
Jen.
line.
Just Jen. I know, that was hilarious.
I'm ready for Just Jen 2019.
Give us a few bucks in the Kickstarter.
Yes, Just Jen.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I was dying. And then like Bodie and Joey are heading home. They're talking about how the rally went, and Bodie's like, "Why don't you take the keys? Why don't you drive home?" And she's like, "Stick shift? I don't know how to do that well enough. I don't trust myself. I'm so self-conscious, blah blah blah." They're also like, "Oh, I wonder if Bessie is even gonna let us in the house." I'm like, oh, fucking Bessie. And then Bessie is there with Alexander. She's like, "Oh, Alexander's proud of you." I'm like, Bessie, you don't even have the balls to say that you're proud of Joey. You have to say the baby's proud of her. Come on. Be like, I'm proud of you. You're my sister. Not, oh, this baby who has no clue what's happening is proud of. It's like, come on. So whatever. I mean, she's trying.
Yeah,
She's like,
it's something.
she is something, but I see through it. She's like, you're talented, you're brave, and I don't think this, but the baby does, so that's why I'm here. And then Joey's like, give me the keys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drive the stick shift home.
Joey's feeling herself. I love
I'm
it.
like, yes, Joey. I feel like Joey's ready for college. I do. I feel like she's,
Oh,
I'm
she's
not worried about Joey.
Yes, you're so right.
you know.
Yeah, she's ready
That's
for
the
anything.
episodes.
Joey.
I'm not worried about Joey anymore. Like, she's ready to stand on her own 2 feet. She can handle adversity, people coming at her, calling her names, coming after her family now. She doesn't get defensive anymore.
Oh God, yeah.
I feel like she is ready to represent herself well.
Right. Yeah, that was really awesome. And then, I mean, then we see her. It's, I guess, Mr. Green's last day.
Yeah.
And they're at the school. He's cleaning out his office. And Joey comes into the office. And he's cute. He's like, Joey, you're called into the office. I haven't seen you in here in a while. Like, she's in trouble. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she starts talking, and she feels kind of bad. She feels a little guilty. And she also feels like she failed Green because maybe her and her activists, the other students, weren't loud enough. They weren't strong enough. They couldn't help him keep his job and make everyone change their ways. And
Right.
that was really, it made me sad to watch. Because I was like, oh, Joey, you tried.
It was really sad because it was like, this is a thing a lot of young people do, a lot of women do. Take on responsibility for things that you actually are not in control of. Like, what could Joey have done to stop a superintendent?
I know, that's what I keep thinking too. And that's like such a discouraging feeling to feel like powerless like that. Like, I tried, but I just am not a match for that. But
Right,
you're
but she
still-
did have an impact.
yes, and that's the important part. Like, you can't make it so black and white.
And even if Principal Green is still going to resign, he didn't go out without, there was resistance to it. The superintendent had to face the truth of the reality of what he was doing and what he was saying. He couldn't do it with the dog whistles. And they gave a true tribute, and there was a reckoning of the impact that Green had, and people got to come together and acknowledge that and kind of mourn that together, and that is something.
Yeah, that was so beautiful. And that's even what Green says. He tells her that he's never felt more successful than he did right then, which was just like, that's such a beautiful testament, you know? He's
Yeah.
like that really, that has a lot of value for him.
Yeah, because even if you're not successful in your goals, you've still put your heart and soul into something and been honest with yourself about your motives and about what you hope to gain and about what your beliefs are. And you've put them out there, even in the face of authority that's telling you you're wrong and telling you to shut up. And it's that's a true teaching moment that these students took on that they probably would not have taken on at the beginning of at the end of season 2.
Yeah, and it's kind of speaks to how it's like they wouldn't have taken it on for someone who didn't deserve it. Like Green
That's true too.
did a good job of inspiring them and teaching them and, you know, being someone who, I mean, he really lives by that superintendent contract. Like, he puts the students first and they can tell. And that's why they're there for him. And it's kind of a two-way street, you know? And I feel like because of that, he helped them become the leaders that they did. And now, like you said, like Joey's ready for college. Like, that's his job. Like, he needs to prepare them for life. So he's like, well, yeah, I was successful. Oh, it was beautiful. I mean, a sad ending, but it's kind of nice because it is kind of realistic. It's sad, but realistic. But it's a good message, too, to try to find some beauty and some hope in, like, outcomes that on the face are bad. But
I really hope that Principal Green gets to go to a school that deserves him.
I know. I feel like he's like too good for anywhere. He's so awesome.
I know.
I'm gonna miss
really
Nikki
great.
too.
But is she leaving?
I don't know, Mary. I don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to next week.
Because I'm like, just because he's not the principal, does that mean she's no longer a student there?
Like, does he have to find a new job? Are they moving like somewhere far away? I don't know.
Well, yeah, if they're moving immediately, then I guess she won't be a student anymore. But if if he doesn't have a new job yet and they're not moving yet, then she should still be enrolled, right?
Yeah, you're right. She should be. Because that'd be weird.
Really weird.
Man, a lot of questions.
Oh my God. So when he leaves the office, all the kids are lined up in the hallway. They're giving him a standing ovation. They're clapping for him as he leaves the building. So beautiful. And then they ruin all the beauty by playing this extremely corny song about thanking God for teachers.
I didn't even notice that.
You didn't notice it? They're like, thank God for the teachers.
Oh.
It's like, so corny. They keep the gardens growing. I'm like, what?
Oh.
I was like, you have to. This is corniest ass song.
That's so funny. No, I was so emotional. I was like not even hearing the music.
Yeah, the music, yeah, you were being strung along.
Mary, I'm like getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. Like, oh.
Oh my God, well, get ready to cry your eyes out because Gail's story's gonna run.
Gail!
It's gonna run tonight. In the newscasters, they want to know if she's interested in filming a few more special interest reports. And she's like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm in the restaurant business now. I'm like, Gail, what are you, out of your mind? There is no money in running a restaurant. Everyone knows this.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It's a money pit.
Oh.
Everyone goes bankrupt building a restaurant.
Oh, dear.
It's really hard to make a buck.
Well, I guess Joey knows that.
Yeah, Joey knows it better than anyone.
Right.
I mean, it's really hard to make money on a restaurant.
Oh,
so.
well, Gail can do anything. I feel like she got that journalism credit back.
She can. I mean, it's a fiction show, but in general, it's really hard to make money in the food industry. You know, but Gail basically says she said no because she realized that doing this news story, it's not so much that she still wanted to be doing the news, it's that she wanted the chance to leave the news. She wanted the opportunity to be the one to say no to the next job. And she gets to say that in this moment. So, you know, I'm glad that she has that moment. And then she's sort of thanking Dawson. And she says, you know, Dawson, you're a quiet hero. And you never ask for a reward. And all I wrote was, laugh my ass off. All Dawson asks for is a reward. Am I right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
When he does a good deed. Come on, Dawson's like, but I was so nice. Where's my trophy?
Oh, little D. I feel like with him and his mom, like he's He's good. He's a mama's boy, as we know.
Oh, he's definitely a mama's boy.
Totally a
though.
mama's boy. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was interesting to hear the quiet hero. Because I know Pacey's
Yeah,
like a
right.
loud hero. I was like, is Dawson a quiet hero? I don't know.
Are they pitting Dawson and Pacey against each other right now?
I don't know, Mary. Maybe they're building to that with the Joey Pacey drama.
Can I just say that I was at work tonight and one of my coworkers, what was happening? I got invited to like go out to this. We do this thing every Thursday, and I was like, no, I can't. I have to call my sister. Like, you have to call your sister, so you can't go out. And I'm like, well, we do a podcast, and they're like, well, what's your podcast? And I was like, oh, we watch Dawson Creek every week, and we talk about it. And they're like, Dawson's Creek. Dawson's such a loser. It's more like Pacey's Creek.
Oh.
And I was like, yes, everyone knows it. But there is definitely a rivalry.
Yeah.
I mean, between Dawson and Pacey, not only in the outside world in terms of the naming of the title, but also just like within the show in terms of who's the hero.
There's a bit, yeah, there is. It's interesting. I didn't expect that when we first started watching.
I know. Do you think Dawson and Pacey are even still friends? Like, they never freaking hang out.
I know. I don't know. I've kind of given up on all their dynamics because it just.
Would you even, yeah, like who has even spoken to Jen? Like, has anyone other than Jax and Pacey spoken to Jen
I know Pacey has.
in months? Yeah, but Dawson doesn't talk to Jen.
No.
Andy doesn't talk to Jen.
It's like Grams.
Andy doesn't talk to anyone other than her brother.
Andy. Poor
Like,
Andy.
the dynamics are crazy. Like,
Yeah.
but Dawson and Pacey were supposed to be best friends, and they're not. And they never were.
No, it was Dawson and Joey were always best friends. Really?
Pacey is just Dawson, makes Dawson feel better about himself. And then when Pacey got his shit together, Dawson's like, well, I don't want to be intimidated by you, so we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Their dynamics are constantly shifting. It's like tectonic plates. What can I say?
Right.
But it was very heartwarming to see Dawson and his mom share a victory together. That was sweet. I was like, there's a lot of happiness at the end of this episode, which was good because I couldn't take any more intensity.
What would you call the Gail and Dawson couple? Would you call them Gawson? Or would you call them Dale?
Gawson is, I think, too weird. Gawson.
I would call them Gawson. Like, Gaw.
Oh, Gawson.
Gaw.
That's kind of cute. I like that.
It's not cute. It's
Gawson.
creepy. Because it's a mother-son pairing.
But they're sweet. They have a good relationship.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, now Pacey and Joey are ready to build that wall.
Yeah, Mary, this was a little triggering. It's like a wall. I can't take that.
A wall.
That's
There's a
loaded
wall.
image right now.
No. So Pacey brings Joey to this undisclosed locale, and he's like, "We're here," and she's like, "Where are we? It feels like we're nowhere." And he's like, "We're here." He's like, "Think back when a long, long time ago, when Principal Green gave you the assignment to do a mural. Well, now I'm giving you the assignment to do a mural on this huge wall that I rented." And I'm like, first of all, I didn't know you could rent a wall. But I guess it's kind of like a billboard. So he gets this wall. It's bigger. It's better.
It's not a fence.
Oh, I can't. So anyway, she's like excited. She's like, I can never figure you out. You're always challenging me in new ways. And I'm like, that's what you want in a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't you? That's sweet. I mean, even though wall, like, yeah, we know walls like triggering, but yeah, don't you think it's a sweet gesture? I mean, everything Pacey has done in this episode, in the past few, have been very good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I have nothing but love for that.
Even when he's jealous, he's not petty, and he's always still trying to do right by Joey. He never takes his jealousy out on her.
Yeah. No, I liked it. I thought that was really good. It was kind of like, well, it's interesting because I know like Dawson in the episode before wanted Joey to go back to the school and paint it that night.
That's so true.
So I was like, Dawson kind of did that too. But Pacey had the whole gesture. Like, he's like, no, this is outside of the school. This is your own. No one's going to paint over it. Like, you know, I feel like he thought about, like, how she'd feel about it more. Like, it
Right.
was a little safer, and it was big, so she had, like, a lot of freedom, a lot of space.
And it was less about having to, like, recreate something that already happened and more about making something new.
Oh, I like that too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was more like of a challenge, because it was bigger. So, like you said, like he's pushing her, but that's good in a relationship. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that
And
was
you
cool.
know what happened at the end of the episode?
What happened?
That corny teacher song about gardens growing played again.
Oh, it did? I didn't even hear it again.
Twice you missed it.
Oh.
It was so distracting I couldn't even enjoy the image of her with the paintbrush.
Oh, man. I was all about the imagery, I guess. I loved, like, the students lined up. The visual was nice.
You have to rewatch and listen to that song.
Yeah, I will.
It is really heavy-handed.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But that's just, the rest of the episode was stellar.
Oh, it was an awesome episode. I loved it.
Yeah, really, really well done.
It really loved it. I think it's one of the few episodes that I want to, like, go back and rewatch even after the pod.
I know, yeah, I would watch this again.
Because it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, Dawson.
Good job, D. Good job, P. Good job, Joey, Jen, Andy, I guess. Jack, you were very absent.
Gail, you get a shout out.
Gail, Mitch, you're in your Jolly Green Giant suit.
We gotta give Mr. Green the best shout out, though.
Mr. Green!
Mr. Green, to Green with love. I gotta clap.
Green with love. Mr. Green, please don't leave the show. Please don't stop the music.
I'm gonna miss...
We want you to come back.
I miss you already. You were the best principal I ever had.
True for me, even though he was not even a real principal for me.
No, me neither, but still the best. I can't...
I know, right?
I can't say that's a lie. Yeah.
All right, girl, we gotta go over these dares.
Yeah, we do. We got to.
Okay, so you remember we were in DC. We were on the blanket. We were playing cards. We were in the park. The dogs were around. Christine and I saw this hilarious dog that was trying to hunt squirrels. And
Trying being the operative word.
The dog was walking in really slow motion to the point where its paw was hovering above the grass for like a full 30 seconds and then very slowly going down. And the owner was walking so slowly to the point where I said to Christine, I think one of them is injured, either the dog or the owner. And then the owner turned around and was like, we're hunting squirrels. But it was like so pathetic and bad. And then for some reason, I don't remember, but it was shortly after the dog hunting the squirrels, I said, why are you casting aspersions on people who obviously care about you?
Yeah.
And I said it to you, so it doesn't count as a dare, but that's the only time I said it because I'm awful at my dares.
Mary, but I feel like we said it to each other a few times, but no, I know we just said it to each other.
It doesn't count at all. But it's the only time I said it, and that dog was funny as hell.
That was a funny dog, but another funny part was that other dog came charging from the other side.
A pit bull.
A pit bull, listeners, charging at us. Well, a squirrel, but it was right next to us.
After a squirrel.
And the owner still had on the leash, and he was running too. And he's like...
Fast.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I feel like if I let her go, she would have got that squirrel. And Mary goes, we saw another dog really fail at that. The owner of that dog just cracked up. It was very funny.
He only laughed that hard, though, because his heart was pounding because a pit bull was charging through the lawn. I mean, the guy's heart rate must have been off the roof.
It was funny, though.
That's why, I mean, it was funny, but he laughed harder than he should have. I mean, I'm honest about the funniness of my jokes. It was funny, but, he thought it was funnier than it was.
It's just funny to think about a dog really failing at catching a squirrel.
The dog sucked at it. I mean, the owner knew.
Yeah, he's like, she'll be here all day. She can't charge it. She can't do it.
Yeah, the other owner was like, I'm just
indulging her,
humoring her. She's never gonna catch a squirrel. She's too shy. So we knew.
It was like we were in the middle of a squirrel hunt in DC.
I know, everyone was hunting squirrels.
It was very funny.
It was really weird.
It was weird. I love that park. Yeah, listeners, if you're ever in DC and you want to see a lot of dogs, go to Lincoln Park. And they're
going to be hunting squirrels left and right.
I mean, DC has a lot of squirrels too, but the dogs are in full force at that park. And they're really cute. Oh,
They were really cute.
yeah, it was funny.
So I guess I failed, but I did, observe the Just Jen moment.
That's true. You observed just Jen. And Mary, I gotta say, I thought I was gonna say my dares this week, but I didn't.
Ooh, you didn't?
No, I didn't.
What were your dares?
Oh my god. Well, the one was about, I couldn't remember. I feel like I kept trying to say it. A tortured, impassioned female voice can soothe an
You
achy,
kept saying
breaking heart.
it to me, butchered.
I know, I kept saying it, but I couldn't remember the adjectives.
Dream another dream, cowboy.
I didn't
You didn't
say
say that?
that. I wish I did. I'm gonna try to say it this week just for
A
fun.
lot of guys were hitting on you. I can't believe you didn't say
I
it.
should have. Like, dream another dream, cowboy. Bye.
You didn't call someone tragically lame?
No. That wasn't a dare, though.
Maybe that's one that I highlighted, but I didn't give you.
Oh, that would be fun.
Did you say any room at the inn?
That wasn't my dare.
No, I highlighted some I didn't give you. Did you say I'd rather shove red hot needles underneath my toenails?
That was a dare, but
okay.
No, I did not say that.
That would really turn some heads if you said that.
That would be hardcore.
Well, we're hardcore.
Yeah, we're pretty hardcore. So
we're pretty hardcore.
We're pretty hardcore. Mary.
Okay.
F's.
Yes.
F's all around for us.
F's all around. I've got good ones for you today.
Ooh, thank God.
What kind of dares are you interested in? I want to make this real easy for you because we're disappointing our listeners.
We're doing so badly, I know.
Okay, I got a really easy one for you. Really easy.
All right,
You work. Okay, Christine, your job, right? It's really intense. You're up early. You work late, right?
That's right.
All right, here's a real easy one. If you don't get this, there's no excuse. Ready?
Gosh, okay.
Hot coffee is great for morale.
Oh my God, I love that. Because, Mary, I was just telling my coworkers because my one coworker is pregnant and she can't have coffee. And I was like, Julie, I swear, coffee is so addictive for me. I was like, I've never tried opium or, opioids. But I feel like coffee would be more addictive than opioids. And they were just dying
that's
laughing.
offensive.
Well, it's because we work on opioid legislation sometimes. So it's in my head.
Wow.
But everyone was laughing. Hot coffee is great for morale. I mean, obviously I wasn't serious, but then I was like, no, I have had opioids because I've had Vicodin before. After a surgery, or morphine at the hospital. So I guess I'm not as addicted to opioids as coffee.
That's good.
For now. That is good. That is good.
Keep that going. All right. Well, here's your next dare. Impossible situations are only made better by doing something about them.
All right, that's a positive one.
It's a very positive one.
I like that. Who said that?
That was a really great one. That Jen said to Pacey about his crush.
Oh, okay. When they're on the docks.
Yeah.
That's nice. Just Jen.
All right. Just Jen. All right. So you want a third one, right?
Yeah. I need all the chances I can get.
All right. I'm trying to find a really good one. Okay. So here's another one. I know my side of the story. That's all that matters.
Oh, okay.
Feeling righteous.
That is righteous. Or narrow, depending on how you say it.
Or narrow?
Yeah, if you don't want to hear someone else's side.
Yeah, okay.
Depends on your inflection. All right, Mary, let's see what I got for you. I'm going to try to give you easy ones also.
Give me something good.
All right, how about this one from, I think it's Joey Andy, one of the kids. These are problems. We need solutions. Those are problems.
Love it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Those are problems. We need solutions.
We need solutions. That's when they're all at the house activating. Let me see.
Is that AJ? That's AJ.
Oh, yeah, that is an AJ quote. I'm going to make
you for giving me an AJ
I'm going to make you
quote.
say it, AJ. It's not a hard quote, though.
It's a little aggressive.
It is a little aggressive. I might give you two very similar ones.
Mm-hmm.
One is I feel like dog meat.
Yeah, I might say that.
I would say that. But then you could also say, every dog has its day.
Every dog has his day is easy.
That is an easy one. Mary, we need
If
easy.
I don't say it, there's no excuse.
Every dog has its day. What if you say both, you can get 2 points.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Love it.
give you some motivation there.
Listeners, this is a super long episode. I also feel like we were like more tipsy, goofy than usual.
I feel like we were more fired up than usual. I was more fired up anyway.
I know I started the episode like a little tipsy.
Oh,
Worked my way through
I'm pretty sober, but
well, that makes one of us.
I did have a glass of wine and I did have 1 beer, so I'm maybe not totally sober.
Yeah, I had drinks after work with my coworkers, so you know it happens.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I feel like this episode was like I really loved this episode. I hope you guys loved it too. Also, I want to shout out, we got a really fun review on iTunes from a listener who said that they've started incorporating the adjective, or what is it, verb?
A verb. Mary!
The verb.
Go to Mr. Green's English class.
Mr. Green. No, it's not Mr. Green. It's Mr. Peterson, and that's why I failed.
I know, but
He's a really
Mr.
good
Green
teacher.
is in like everything.
So anyway, you rinsed them. No, but you could say I got rinsed. That's an adjective. Is it?
I think in that case it's an. Oh.
I hope we don't lose our good review. We had a really great review.
I was like, is that a direct object? I don't know.
Well, we had a great listener who said that they've started incorporating the word rinsed into their vocabulary, which is amazing because that's a really great way to describe an insult. Rinsing them. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening. Listeners, if you have something you want to say about the show, please shout us out either on Twitter. We're at what?
Mary, oh my God. All right, it's Wham. Dawson Cries,
Wham.
W-A-H. Mary couldn't even say it. Dawson Cries. Oh my word. Wow. Also, yeah, thank you. No, thanks for the iTunes review. I get so excited when I see a new one. And it was funny to see that, you know, we inspired someone's vocabulary. Mostly Mary, because that rinsed is... That's a funny word.
That's British slang.
So, yeah. If you feel the urge, leave us an iTunes review. We'll deeply appreciate it. If you're on Twitter and you want to interact with us, definitely encourage you to do that too at Wham Dawson Cries. And you know, we'll be here next week, and we hope this episode wasn't too political, but it just lent itself to it, so we had to go there. But listeners, hopefully next week we'll be back to our typical escapism.
Fingers crossed.
I know. We could use it, Mary, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for listening. Again, yeah, this is a long one, but that's how it's been lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, we love you.
I knew you were gonna go with a love.
I didn't say it last week. I feel bad.
That was like really sincere.
I know. Well, Mary, this episode brought out a lot of emotion.
She's like, we love you.
From the bottom of our hearts, it's true.
Oh.
Oh.
All right. Bye, listeners.
Bye.